Carol, use your sister's card. My mother, Susan, said, pressing my debit card into my brother Ryan's hand. It's got about $120,000 in it. Ryan went straight to a shop called Van Life Outfitters. He filled a cart with a fully customized van conversion package and high-end camera gear. The cashier rang up the purchase. The total $115,000. Ryan slid the card. Confident, the cashier looked at the screen. And then, back at him. Sorry, he said. But this card is declined. My name is Carol. I'm 32. I'm an architect. My job is about precision. About lines on a blueprint. About structural integrity. I plan everything. Months in advance. I'm the person who checks the zoning laws. Who confirms the load-bearing walls. Who makes sure the foundation is sound before you even think about the paint color. At home, I'm the same person. In my family, that means I'm the bank. My brother, Ryan, is 28. He's the opposite of a blueprint. He's charismatic, messy, and lives his life based on whatever YouTube video he watched that morning. His current dream is to be a van life vlogger, traveling the country in a beautifully customized van, funded by, well, me. That $120,000 wasn't just savings. It wasn't a rainy day fund. It was the collateral for a small business loan I was finalizing. It was my entire professional future. 10 years of working at a firm I hated. 10 years of packing lunches and skipping vacations. All of it saved to finally start my own company. My blueprints were already drafted. I had a deposit ready for a small office space in a redeveloped warehouse district. That money was my foundation. A small part of it I kept private. It was a small inheritance left to me by my godmother. The rest was every dollar I had earned and saved for a decade. This wasn't the first withdrawal from the Bank of Carol. It was just the biggest. It happened in little ways that build up over time. The $500 Ryan needed for an apartment deposit that I never saw again. The $2,000 for my mother's emergency car repair. The constant borrowing of my streaming passwords. My laptop. My time. My father, Robert, was Keeter. But just as draining. He'd forget to pay his share of the cell phone bill I still managed. Their words were always the same. My mother, Susan's favorite line, we're family. Carol, family is one bank account. Or, you're so successful, you have to help your brother find his way. My brother's line, it's an investment. Sis, when my vlog blows up, I'll pay you back double. I had stopped arguing. I had stopped trying to explain that my success wasn't magic, that it was built on the sacrifices they refused to make. I just paid. I paid for peace. I've always told myself I was just keeping the peace. I'm not a fighter. I'm an architect. I solve problems. And in my family, every problem had a price tag. Paying was just easier. It was easier to send Ryan the money for his deposit than to listen to my mother cry about him being stressed. It was easier to let my dad use my Netflix account than to have a 30-minute circular argument about why he couldn't remember his own password. I bought silence. I paid for a quiet dinner. I paid to not feel that awful. Vibrating tension that fills a room when my mother is disappointed, but standing in my parents' cluttered den, staring at my empty wallet. I realized what I had bought wasn't peace. It was a prison. There's a psychological term for it. Learned helplessness. It's what happens when you're in a bad situation for so long that you stop trying to escape. You learn that fighting back only makes it hurt more. It starts small. You say no to lending your car. The resulting week of silent treatment. The accusations of being selfish. The family guilt. It's exhausting. So next time, you just hand over the keys. It's less painful. You're trained. Like a dog in an experiment. You learn that resistance is futile. You learn that the path of least resistance is to just give in. You're conditioned. My mother didn't just steal my laptop or my streaming passwords. She stole my no. And I let her. I let them train me to believe that my boundaries were an act of aggression. And their theft was just family. It takes a shock to break the conditioning. It takes a pain so large it overrides all the small pains you've trained yourself to endure. It takes an attempted theft of $115,000. That's the click. Not a lock turning. A cage breaking. The breaking point didn't happen when my mother handed Ryan the card. It happened the night before. It was a Sunday dinner. The house had that familiar smell of stale coffee and dust. My father, Robert, was quiet, watching TV. My mother, Susan, served pot roast like she was presiding over a board meeting. Ryan, of course, had an announcement. He'd been working on a presentation. He pulled out his laptop and showed us a slideshow full of hashtags and pictures of other people's vans. "It's not just a vlog," he said, his voice full of that fake, breathless passion. "It's a brand, a lifestyle. The roaming Ryan. I've got the vision, the charisma. I just need the tools to attract sponsors." My father grunted. "Looks expensive. Son, you have to spend money to make money." "Dad," Ryan said, clicking to a slide, showing a customized van. My mother, Susan, placed a final dish on the table. She didn't look at me. "Well, your father and I have handled the van deposit," she said, as if this was old news. "Carol will help with the rest." The room went silent. The clink of my fork hitting the plate sounded like a gunshot. "No," I said. Ryan laughed. Like I'd told a joke. "What?" "No," I said again. Louder. I looked directly at my mother. "I will not be helping. I told you. All of you. My money is locked. It's for my business loan. It's collateral. It is untouchable." My brother's smirk faded. "Wow. You're really that selfish. It's your own brother." "Arian, this isn't about you," I said, my voice starting to shake. "This is my entire company. My future. The answer is no." My mother's face hardened. That look I'd seen my whole life. The one that said, "You are a disappointment. We are talking about your brother's future." "Carol, you've always been so rigid." "I'm not rigid. Mom, I'm responsible. Someone has to be." I stood up, my pot roast untouched. "The money is not available. This discussion is over." I left. I heard my mother's sharp hiss. "Carol, you sit back down." As I walked out the door, the next day, I was working at my desk, trying to finalize the loan paperwork. I keep my purse in my old room when I visit. In the closet. My mother came in. She didn't knock. "Your brother is very upset," she said. "He'll get over it," I said, not looking up from my screen. She was quiet for a moment. I heard her move toward the closet. "You just don't understand," she said, her voice strangely soft. "Sometimes you have to have faith in people. He'll understand eventually." I just nodded, wanting her to leave. "Okay. Mom." She left. I heard Ryan's car start, the gravel crunching in the driveway as he sped off. An hour later, I went to grab my wallet to get lunch. I opened my purse. My debit card, the one linked to the $120,000 collateral account, was gone. My blood went cold. I ran through the house. Mom, where's Ryan? He went out. She called from the kitchen, her voice perfectly casual. He was excited to get started on his project. What project, Mom? Where is my card? She turned around. And she wasn't even pretending. Carol, stop being dramatic. He borrowed it. He'll pay you back when the vlog takes off. I couldn't breathe. I grabbed my phone. I tried to call Ryan. Straight to voicemail. I tried to call my bank. But as I was dialing, my phone buzzed in my hand. A fraud alert. Did you just spend $850 at Aperture Drones? I hit no. My phone buzzed again. A pending transaction of $115,000 is being attempted at Van Life Outfitters. Pending. Not declined. Pending. I didn't bother with the automated system. I just kept hitting 0 until a human picked up. My voice was shaking. But it was clear. My name is Carol. My card has been stolen by my brother. I have a pending charge for $115,000. I did not authorize it. I did not authorize any of it. Freeze the account. Freeze it right now. I don't remember the drive. I remember my knuckles being white on the steering wheel and the sound of my own breathing. Short and sharp. I parked crooked, my tire scraping the curb, and ran into the Van Life Outfitters showroom. It smelled like new carpet and sawdust. And there they were. Ryan was leaning against a massive, charcoal gray custom van. The kind with solar panels on the roof and a full kitchen inside. He was grinning, holding a new camera, pointing it at himself. My mother, Susan, was filming him with her phone, documenting the moment his new life began. They were laughing. A salesman stood beside them, smiling, holding a clipboard. They hadn't even left the store. They were celebrating the purchase they hadn't finished making. I walked straight up to them. The salesman, seeing my face, looked a little nervous. Can I help you? Ma'am, we're just finishing up, my mother said, waving her hand at me. Annoyed. As if I was interrupting. That's right, the salesman said, turning back to Ryan. Okay. Sire? The total for the van conversion, the drone, and the camera equipment comes to $115,000. My stomach dropped. $115,000. Ryan, buzzing with excitement, handed him my card. The card I had earned. The card that held my future. Let's do it. The salesman swiped it. The small machine chirped. There was a pause. A long, loud, angry beep. The salesman's smile faltered. He stared at his screen. I'm sorry. Sire, he said. But this card, it's been declined. Ryan laughed. Laughed like it was a cute little mistake. That's impossible. My sister's loaded. Just run it again. Man, the machine's probably just old. It won't work. My voice cut through the air. It was dead calm. It didn't even sound like me. Ryan. Susan. And the salesmen all turned to look at me. I was standing right behind them. Ryan's face went from confusion to annoyance. Carol, what are you doing here? You're embarrassing me. I just froze the account. I said, holding my phone up. The transaction is flagged as fraud. Which it is. Give me my card. Ryan. My mother's face turned a dark, ugly shade of red. She stepped between us. Her voice a low hiss. Carol, don't you dare do this. Don't you dare humiliate your brother in public. People are watching. Good, I said. The word felt powerful. They should be watching. They should see that my mother and my brother just tried to steal $115,000 from me. It's family money, Susan shrieked, her voice cracking. You'll get it back when his channel takes off. No, I said, stepping past her. I looked at the salesman, who looked like he wanted to crawl under his desk. This was an unauthorized transaction. I am the account holder. This purchase is canceled. I looked at Ryan. My card. Now. His face was pale. The charisma was gone. He looked like a child. You're really going to do this? Give it to me. He practically threw it at my chest. I snatched it out of the air. You've always loved making me feel small, he muttered, his voice thick with venom. I didn't have to do anything. Ryan, you did this to yourself. I turned and walked away. I could hear my mother starting to yell. Carol, you get back here. You are heartless. Carol, you're ruining this family. I didn't stop. I walked out of the showroom, out into the bright afternoon, and got into my car. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely put the key in the ignition. I sat there for a full minute, just breathing. It wasn't relief. It was an earthquake. That night, I didn't sleep. The adrenaline from the confrontation faded and left behind a cold, clear silence. He said at me laptop, and for the first time, I wasn't an architect designing a building. I was an architect designing an escape. I performed a complete audit of my life. I opened a new checking account at a completely different bank, a small, local credit union they had never heard of. I transferred every single cent of my remaining money. I set up new passwords, not based on pets or birthdays, but on random strings of characters. I put a verbal password on the new account that only I could know. I froze my credit with all 3 bureaus. That part felt solid. Then came what they'd call petty. I called it necessary. I changed every password: Netflix, music, everything, and took myself off the family phone plan I'd been paying for. The peace I'd funded for years finally expired. It felt like breathing again after being underwater for a decade. The group chat blew up Ryan accusing me of public humiliation. Mom calling me cold. I didn't reply. I just took screenshots. 3 days later, Dad called. Voice weary. Family meeting. Tonight. 6. I almost refused. But I had one last thing to build. That night, Mom had a notebook like a lawyer. Ryan wouldn't look at me. And Dad paced. They said they were hurt and wanted a proposal. I'd pay Ryan $3. 000, a month for his brand. I placed my own folder on the table, Personal Finance and Asset Protocol, a declaration of boundaries. They called me selfish. Dad exploded, shouting about my money and the inheritance from my godmother. The truth hit. He'd always resented it. Mom ordered me to apologize or leave. I chose to leave. Outside. Her voice followed me. You'll be back. But I just kept walking. Family isn't always a bond. It can be a chain. Cutting it isn't cruelty. It's survival. Weeks later, Mom called, panic in her voice. Police. Fraud. Ryan. She begged me to lie. I told the truth instead. 6 months passed. I didn't get the dream office. Just a small, cracked wall studio. But it was mine. When my parents finally visited, Mom brought pot roast and a quiet apology. Dad gave a small nod, his first sign of respect. As they left, I realized boundaries aren't walls. They're doors with locks you control. People who care will knock. I'm done being the bridge they walk over. I'm an architect now, and I build my own foundations.